Happy Friday, everybody. This is your favorite crypto trading show, Crypto and Coffee with the Trading Bros. I'm your host, Clutch Crypto. And just for a little bit of bragging rights, I was right about that move to the upside yesterday. And winner, winner,
You're into
chicken
the down,
dinner.
on the down
Oh,
and the up.
um, we what's going to happen today? What to expect possibly over the weekend? You're going to find out right now. B. Wellington, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Yeah, that was a hell of a move yesterday with CPI, with all the data that's coming out. So, but if you really want to look at it, I mean, with all that movement, I mean, we're a little bit above where we were a couple days ago. We were kind of hanging out at 1310 area. Now we're at 1330. So we kind of pumped up from there. But this is a daily. You do see we did have that big move to the downside. We did break support, recovered this vector candle here, as we spoke about, that if it could do, and then it moved all the way back up. And so now we have this positive candle and potentially a move back to the upside. But I don't know about that because we've got a lot of longs that came on board. So this took out a lot of the liquidations relative to those longs. A lot of shorts got trapped in this wick right here, moved back up, took out a lot of those longs, continue to take those out. And now we're kind of in this area, but we've had a lot of longs that have come on board, in my opinion, and we haven't taken out this last little bit of this vector as well. And we've got this long wick that's been hanging out here, and I think eventually we're gonna get back down here and take down this wick. I mean, I still got targets of down in this area to take out, this wick that we have, this imbalance here. But of course, we got to get there first. So if we move down into lower time frames, again, we can see where we came down, broke that support, came back up, bounced off of it. So we've had this double tap move that's out there, but we did break it. So we've got a lot of shorts that are trapped down in this area. We did have a vector candle that came back through the 200 on the 1 hour. And so potentially we could get up here to last week's high, which would be the 800 on the 1 hour. We've got this vector that's
And what's that? What's that price range up there around the 800?
around 800 is 1382, 1382. And then the peak that we've had is on the 1401. So I think 1401 is, if we do start moving up to this area again, we're gonna have to see a lot of volume that starts to come in to kind of push us up. I do expect some type of retrace back down into this area before we move back up, but potentially it could just move back up. I mean, we've had this weird V-shaped movement down and back up, so this could continue back into the last week high. Really depends on how many shorts are hopping on board or how many longs are hopping on board as well to come back and get those liquidations. But we do have daily open. We've got this vector here. So it would make sense to come back down, recover this vector before moving back up, but we'll have to see about that. Should be a nice Friday. We've had a lot of movement yesterday, so I don't expect a lot of movement today, but we'll have to see. Going into smaller time frames, again, kind of had this area marked off. This is where the 200 was, a little while ago. This is where that's where the 200 is on the 1 hour. So, kind of moved through that area with some velocity. We knew we had to get some. And again, we've got yesterday's high here. We've got daily open here. So again, we've kind of tested this peak here, but we haven't broken it. So if we do break down below into this 1318 area, probably expect us to come back down to the daily open. So as long as we hold above, this is the 50 on the 14 minute. But again, if we start breaking down, I expect daily open to be hit, but we're still kind of ranging in this area. Yes, we're coming down somewhat now, but we're still in the first 30 minutes. But moving on to things that we like to take a look at. If we look at funding rates, we're kind of mixed across the board, but from an aggregated standpoint, we're positive on both ends. Even FTX, which is normally negative, shows a positive rate. So again, we have some longs are coming on board. If we look at things like open interest is at 5.8 billion. Open interest really hasn't done anything, right? We're at 5.7. So even with all that movement yesterday, we only increased a small amount, at least on the perp side, is what we're talking about. Is another chart I like to take a look at. We look at what's happening with this is on the 15 minutes. OI is basically dropping on Binance. The CBD is increasing, which means that we probably got some longs coming on board. We've got spot as well that's remaining flat. And so again, this is the POC for this for Binance. It's kind of in this 1284 area, so potentially we could get back into this area. Going into the traditional markets, futures were up, so the Dow is up as well, along with the S&P and Nasdaq kind of remaining flat. Bulls flat as well, 87.69. Not a lot as far as the new headlines is concerned. I think everybody's still recovering from yesterday. If we look at economic data that's coming out next week, we've got Tuesday. Let's see, the home builders index is coming out. It's probably the most pertinent news for that. October 20th is probably going to be the best day for news, where you got initial jobless claims, manufacturing index, existing home sales, and things of that nature. But really, next week's not a huge news week, so potentially you could see some movement. But this could be a setup week since there's no news. I think the news is going to be after that, and getting into November, that first week of November. I think we've got a lot of news coming out. But
the week following next week, is that when the Fed's going to introduce the new rate hike?
I believe so.
Yeah,
that's the first week in November. First week in November.
You're right. Maybe setting up for a big move for that.
So this could be setting. Yeah.
All right.
That's all I got on my end. What's happening on your side of the world, Mr. Clutch?
All right, man. Well, let's, without any further ado, let's just jump right into it. All right, guys. Good morning. As you can see, this is High Block Capital here. And as you can see, in just one short day, we went from a negative 5 billion to positive 5 billion. And we're working our way up the ladder here for, to clear out the short liquidations, because this was definitely lopsided yesterday as well. One thing that I really want to talk about is we do currently still have a gap in this range, and as you can see, lots of longs jumped on board. The same story is going to be told here on Bookmap in just a second. But I expect that we're probably not going to have a heck of a whole lot of activity, just as B. Wellington mentioned on this Friday, because I think we're just going to kind of range around from this range that we're in. There may be a possibility that we slide up there into that 1380, 1400 area. But outside of that, I don't see anything much higher to the upside if we even get up to that point. But I do expect that we'll be moving to the downside because we have quite a few 60, 80, and even $100 million long liquidations out there on the books. And let's just jump over to Bookmap because there's a few things that I really want to show you guys what's going on. There we go. So if you look at Bookmap here, a while ago, this was that peak that it just hit prior to the New York Open, which is up there in the 30-40 range. We had a lot of long volume show up there. So typically what happens, especially when we get this purple square, that's a reversal trend indicator. We were looking at a red circle with green square yesterday and got that ride up. So I do expect that we're going to start heading back down to the downside right now. It may not be a long way down, or it could be. It's just really going to depend. We're going to probably bounce around and test on this VWAP and range in this area. I'm not expecting that we break the high that we just made because there's probably a lot of longs trapped there. So they're going to want to kind of make them, they're going to want to kind of squeeze them out as much as they can. Big areas to really pay attention to. We got 1300 again down in this range. We don't have a whole lot of volume in there, so I would expect after we get over this hump. So once we get down to about 1320, I'd expect us to move down to 1300, 1310, that area, probably pretty quick. That may not be until the 10:30 to 11:30 area move, but I do expect some more movement to the downside. And then when we get into this 2090 area, it's probably going to take us a long time to get through that. But if we're able to make it down to 1280, expect some more movement to the downside because we have. Oh, sorry. I had to scoot this out. If we can get down in this range, they like to fill these voids up, these gaps up before they move out. So again, 1280, you're looking at about 1240. Pay attention to those areas if we get down there because they'll move around pretty quick. But also, as you can see, we do have some long-term liquidity up here at 1400. But right now, I think if we get down to 1300, there's a good chance that we're going to keep going down today. And then expect just the ranging and bouncing around over the weekend with not a whole lot of activity. And that's all I got on my end. Did we lose B. Wellington?
No, I'm here.
We just can't see him, but he's on.
You can't see me?
No, I can't. No, I don't know why.
Here. I'm here on my end.
Yeah. We just can't. You just look like your screen's loading. But anyway, that's about all we have. Again, I'm bearish for the day, and I think we're going to end up.
I'm bearish too, by the way. I'm bearish.
We're both bearish, so that's good news. We're on the same page today. So
we got no excuses. If it shoots up 1,000 points, we got no excuses.
That's right. Oh, there you are. Welcome back to the party, even though you never left. All right, guys, that's all we have. Have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. Do us a favor and have a great day. We'll see you Monday morning, same time, same place. Until next time. Adios.